going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Alpha Auto Adventures video, and today I'm going to be talking about miles per gallon or miles per gallon with the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio. So I'm going to be talking about what the range says on the dash versus what I'm actually getting in my everyday day-to-day driving. I'll talk about kind of the type of driving I'm doing and the efficiency, and maybe some tips on how to improve your efficiency if you have this car or something similar. Alright, so let's get going. Baby up. Alright, so while I have her warming up a bit, let's talk a little bit about this experiment. So this is a V6 twin turbo 2.9 liter engine. It has 3, but the Quadrifoglio has 4 modes. We have A, N, D, and race mode, of course. And I just wanted to see the difference in miles per gallon in each of those modes. I kind of went through, I tried to keep it as controlled as possible, so I filled up the tanks and then I drove it until the gas light turned on. I figured that would kind of keep it the most controlled, where I assume the light turns on at the exact level, so that way we can measure the miles that I was able to accrue, and then the miles that were in the range reserve or whatever, and kind of combine that across all the DNA modes. And let's see what the disparity was, and should you drive it in race mode or dynamic mode versus normal or natural mode. And then obviously there's the, I think, ultra efficiency mode or something like that. Should probably look up the meaning of the DNA modes. But either way, I'll get into that in this video. So let's enjoy some exhaust sounds, and then we'll talk about the numbers next. So I just filled up. I got 254.6 versus range now with the full tank 375, and that was on N. Let's change it to A. Light just turned on with total range. Let's say I'll give it the 238 miles and 41 miles to go. So that is on DNA mode A. And yeah, let's keep comparing. I'm going to the gas station, fill up, and put it on dynamic next. Should be fun. Longing is the music of our sphere. The gift of life is never more or less. It starts at any time you like and ends in just a wink. so the gas light just turned on. We are at 219, let's call it 220, with 43 miles to go in terms of the range. 17.2 miles per gallon average. And again, mainly just town, city driving, not much highway driving. And yeah, so next mode, the best mode, race mode. Once I fill up, we'll switch it over, and yeah, we'll have some fun. We'll see how many miles I get in race mode. All right, I'm here filling up for the third time here. It's going to be exciting. I'm going to throw her into race mode and see how many miles I actually get in my day-to-day driving. Again, not much highway driving, mainly city driving, so I don't expect to get too much out of it. But yeah, let's see what we got. All right, here we go. So let's reset it. And done, done, done. And here we go. Let's do it. Numbers from each of the modes. I got it right here written down. Let's see what we got. Start with dun dun dun. Let me go with let's start with the lowest to the most miles that I got. Okay, so no surprise, race mode, I got the lowest amount of miles per tank before the gas light turned on, and it came to 213.4 miles. 35 mile reserve or range to go once the light turned on. 15.5 miles per gallon an average, and an average speed of 24 miles per hour. And no surprise, the miles per hour was a little bit faster than all the other averages, but honestly not by much. Then we got dynamic mode, so D, a little better, not by a ton, but a little better. I got 219.7 miles in the tank before the light turned on. Oh man, that auto on off, I can't wait to get rid of that. Yeah, so let's say 220, round up a little bit, 43 miles to go in the range, 17.2 miles per gallon, so that's a pretty big jump from 15.5 in race mode, so that's nice, and an average of 22 miles per hour. So as you can see, not a ton of highway driving, you know, basically driving from home to work, which is about 14 miles depending on the route I take, and then some added miles here and there between clients, lunch, and all that stuff. So that's 14 miles in one direction. All right, next, what do we think got the least miles? So it's actually A. So the ultra efficiency mode got me 238 miles, 41 mile reserve in the range, 17.6 miles per gallon, and 20 mile per hour average speed. And so honestly, I wasn't too surprised. I was actually expecting this to happen in the type of driving that I'm doing. You know, I think if I was doing more highway driving, there would be a difference there. However, one thing to note, so in the normal or the N mode, whatever, natural mode, whatever you want to call it, we got the most miles out of all four, and that was with 254.6. Unfortunately, I forgot to look at the range before I fueled up, so I don't have an accurate number, but you know, if dynamic was 43, A was 41, let's say 42 probably, right? It's probably not too different. However, I will say the miles per gallon, I had 17.6 on the ultra efficiency and 17.3 in normal mode. However, there was a difference in the mileage, decent difference there, right? So 254.6 was the most miles I was able to get in a tank. And again, I was just driving normal. I wasn't trying to be super efficient. I was just going about my day, trying to be as least biased as I could be, you know, keeping as many things normal or standard across all modes. You know, in terms of fuel, tire pressure, I didn't really check that for any of them, so I realize now that I probably could have had them at a little bit more optimal tire pressure. But again, if they're not optimal for all of it, then it should still be, you know, equivalent across all of them, so no disparity there. So between the highest and the lowest, so the normal and the race mode, there was about a 16% decrease in miles per tank. You know, you can see that with the 15.5 miles per gallon in race mode versus the 17.3 in the normal mode. And one thing I'll say, between the D and A, all those three modes, you know, there wasn't a huge difference in miles per gallon average for, again, the type of driving that I was doing. So it went from, so dynamic 17.2, normal 17.3, so not a big difference there. But in the ultra efficiency, again, 17.6, so definitely a little better there, even though the miles, the range doesn't really speak to that. You know, there was a 1 mile per hour speed difference, so I was able to, I guess, cover a little bit more ground. So yeah, just a weird, you know, something to consider. All right, so that sums it up for this video. Thank you for watching. Thanks for coming back. If you're a subscriber, if you're not, please consider subscribing, support the channel, comment with any content ideas below, and stay tuned till the next one.